You're back with more Matt Patrick.
KTRH News Time is 5:47. He's got a new book out called Life Among the Cannibals. Former senator from Pennsylvania, once a Republican, then a Democrat, Arlen Specter joining us this morning. Senator, what's his book all about?
Well, it's all about cannibals devouring senators. Members of Congress are afraid to cast a vote defying the party line for fear of being primaried and defeated, illustrated by former Senator Bob Bennett of Utah, who cast one vote for the Bush bailout, and a 93% conservative rating was not enough for a primary victory. And on the other side of the aisle, an able senator like Joe Lieberman couldn't win a Democratic primary.
Senator Specter, let's look at Pennsylvania for a moment. And cannibals devouring senators, Rick Santorum, obviously, in the race for the GOP nomination. How do you see this going through, and with his background in Pennsylvania and what he's doing right now?
Well, I worked coordinately with Senator Santorum in the Senate. We worked for the state, very different views philosophically. I believe that Senator Santorum will not be successful on his effort to win the Republican nomination because
Is he too far right, Senator? Is that what you feel? He's just way too far to the right?
Yeah, well, I think that's correct. When you take a look at his positions, he believes that women don't have a place in the workforce. He thinks that contraception is wrong. He says that as to gay rights, that it's man on dog, bestiality, disagrees with John Kennedy's famous Houston speech, separation of church and state. I think he's so far out of the mainstream that it's just not a realistic candidacy.
Former Senator from Pennsylvania, Arlen Specter, joining us this morning. And next up, we asked the senator about Sarah Palin's short skirts and his thoughts on her legs and overt sexiness. You don't want to miss that. We're talking with former Pennsylvania Senator Arlen Specter. Senator, you once suggested to a Philadelphia newspaper that Hillary Clinton would be a better Democratic nominee than Barack Obama. You still hold that opinion?
Well, I don't expect Hillary to enter the race, but I have a lot of misgivings about what President Obama has done, and I'll be specific. I opposed on the Senate floor adding 30,000 troops in Afghanistan. I think we ought to be out of there. We had no argument with the Taliban. There are very few al-Qaeda there. I thought the president was wrong extending the tax cuts. He appointed a commission to deal with the deficit and the national debt, co-chaired by Alan Simpson. Paid no attention to that. Of course, Obama may look good compared to Mitt Romney, who Bill Maher really captured Romney when he said he's changed positions more often than a pornographic movie queen. So,
Senator Specter, just as we have to wrap this up, what about Obamacare and what's happening right now with Supreme Court justices?
Well, I think the act is constitutional, a legitimate exercise of congressional authority under the Commerce Clause, but you have an ideologically divided court. Mm-hmm. You have the four horsemen on the right already indicating that they're against it. Of course, you got the four liberals on the left saying they're for it. Kennedy may be the swing vote. He started off yesterday talking that it might be an incursion on freedom. Then he came back a little in some of his later comments. He likes to think of it as the Kennedy court, likes to be the swing.
In your book, you talked about Sarah Palin exuding sexuality, wearing her skirts a little high above the leg. You were on McCain's bus looking at her. Listen, sir, I do not blame you one bit. I know you're taking some grief over that statement. I would have been looking at her legs, too. I just want you to know you and I might disagree on politics, but when it comes to women, I think you're right on, sir.
Well, if there's a little grief, there might be a little fun, too. But you read the book. I'm very circumspect in what I said about Ms. Palin's skirt. I was very prim, proper, and appropriate. But it's an interesting part in the book. I take some lighter moments when Ted Kennedy came into the hot tub and plopped down like a walrus, or my conversation with Castro about whether he was involved in the assassination of President Kennedy. I find if you use a little humor, you can get people to listen to the serious stuff.
There's no question, and I would rather see Sarah Palin's short skirt than Ted Kennedy's naked body.
That's a no-brainer.
No question about it. Former Senator from Pennsylvania, Arlen Specter, the book.
Imagine that.
Life Among the Cannibals, very interesting guy.